We're going to take a look at the Mimic social simulation within Student. So when you first log in to your course on Student.com, you should see an option here to go to Mimic Social or to the text. We want to actually go to Mimic Social, and once you are there, you should be able to log in and start round 1. So I'm going to log in as me and go to the simulation. So these simulations, you probably want to budget at least an hour of time, if not a little bit longer, to watch all the video and read through all the different steps. So the big picture is that your boss at Boohee Bags has given you $5,000 to spend on social media marketing. And so prior to this, you should have completed the SEMrush competitor analysis, where we put in 3 different websites to track, Nixon.com, Bunker Online, and Bronxton. You might have spent a little bit more time and found some different competitors that you would want to include there. And so now back in the simulation, you have some welcome info. There's help available in the form of this little help icon here at the bottom right, and also there's specific instructions on each screen. So you're going to be acting as the social media marketing manager for Boohee, and throughout the simulation you'll be building social media marketing campaigns, creating and promoting content to promote through social media ads, and then doing some analytics. So a little bit of background here. Your first step is needing to understand about your new employer, your business, the company's background. So these scenarios in the simulation, there's supposed to be some high-level info. So it's not going to be perfect, but usually it's enough to get you by. So on the left side here, we're going to have some information in each one of the rounds, so you don't have to continually come back to these pages, but you can go back and refer to those as needed. So here's our summary. They're an e-commerce retail bag supplier selling backpacks, purses, wallets, duffel bags. So basically, if it's any kind of a bag, they make it. And their business goals are to find bags that resonate with a design-conscious audience, make them at an affordable price, and sell them for a profit at competitive prices. So they are looking to design functional bags that evoke some nostalgia, and bags with a personality for even the pickiest consumer. So this is their goal and has helped them grow since 2009. So currently they estimate their market share to be less than 1% of all retail bag sales. Their gross revenue last year was $15 million, and their goal is $17 million, and they want to increase their market share by 0.05%. So they'd like to be in the 0.3% market share for retail bag sales. So your role is to help them reach this goal by increasing their visitors on their website, which should increase the number of sales they have. So as we go through the simulation steps and rounds, make sure you're looking at your reach and your clicks. So first thing, instructions is what we saw here. And then the next spot you really want to start looking at is your weekly memo. And so this is your kind of directive from your boss. So the boss says, excited to get you started today. He knows you're busy and you might not know where to start. So check out this article linked below on his friend's blog to see what metrics they need to monitor. So you're trying to build awareness and get more people to know about the company, so let's focus on branding primarily. So we'll take a look at this blog post and we'll see, what are the metrics that matter here. So one of the initiatives that we have obviously is sales, but leading up to the sale we have what's called a marketing funnel. So it's wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. So we get a lot of people aware of the brand, and then we start to lose people as they start to engage. And then we lose even more because not everybody's just going to instantly buy the product. So that's why they call it a funnel. So what we want to look at metric-wise is awareness, engagement, and sales. So awareness is how many followers we have that like our pages, subscribe to our channels, or somehow get content from us. That also includes the number of impressions or views and the number of comments or mentions in other social media about the business. So engagement includes comments, reactions, shares, and clicks. And sales obviously includes conversions. So conversions are usually measured by total number of traffic and divided by total number of sales. So conversion rate can be reported in a lot of different ways to make it look better than it really is. So you want to always make sure you understand what your conversion ratio is. Is it all website traffic, or is it all traffic that starts from a product page? So the conversion rate can be looking very different. It can look very low if you're measuring from all traffic down to a sale versus all product page traffic down to a sale. You're just kind of slicing into the funnel later in the process to see a higher conversion rate. So these are all the metrics we're going to focus on. There's a couple other articles you can take a look at if you're interested in social media metrics or more about marketing funnels. But the main thing is we want to get an idea of what's important for the business. Obviously, business is going to want sales, but we can't get sales without awareness and engagement. So our scenario, if we take a look again at instructions, our boss has told us that we are looking at increasing our engagement here. So we're looking at building the brand awareness. So on the left here, now we can take a look at the products. So we've got backpacks, duffel bags, messenger bags, pouches, totes, travel bags. And these are just examples of those items. And we can take a look at the market. So these are our personas. These are the typical people that Boohee has identified that they would like to sell their products to. So we got Back to School Mindy, makes up 20% of the market, age 18 to 26, female, low income, these sort of interests, and then we can take a look at the rest. So City Hopper Sue will be 12% of the market, Up and Comer Raj, 16% of the market, 10% for Energetic Jill. Seaside Sally is in a lower demographic but higher income range. Daypacker Tom is at 29%, so Back to School Mindy and Daypacker Tom are probably the better groups to look at since there's more people there. And then Hipster Mom Cami here. So this is a view of Boohee's current Facebook analytics. So you can see we're looking at 1 year of time. They've had 556,000 likes. Their age range is kind of comparable to what we just saw in their demographic. And they have just a slightly higher female follower than male. And their ideal number of posts is 1 or 2 per day. So we can also see different platforms here, and then we can see some other metrics here like our reactions, clicks, shares. So you'll notice these numbers are changing here. Page likes, conversion. So you can see they're selling, I would say on average 250 bags a month. If we kind of take a look and draw an imaginary line between the 150 and 350. And then our revenue peaked at $15,000 in August, and looks like it's still climbing in December. So they have an annual marketing budget for social media of $240,000. This week you get to spend $5,000 of that. So we've got two costs. First is the production of the content. So that would be your work that you're doing. It may be an agency, somebody that's hired to run social media. And then there's also a cost for promoting the post. So some posts you can post free, but you're not going to get that much reach because of the way each platform limits how many people see your ads. So usually only people that follow you already will see your post. Then you don't necessarily have to promote it to them. But it's when you're trying to grow your followers to get more people to see your content, it's when you have to spend some money. So each week in the simulation, you want to spend as much money as possible, and the budget's going to be reset each week. So there's no budget that carries over. So they've increased their budget spend from 12% to 25%, and they tend to see themselves as a lifestyle brand, so they see a higher return from social media than most other platforms. They rely on high quality photography, which is where some of your production cost is going to go. This could be costs for royalty based images, not royalty free. So you may have to pay a photographer for the content that you can use to promote. And then your promotion is the cost on each of your platforms that you're going to put your advertisements on. So our goals: spend the entire budget, spend wisely, and we want to grow the brand, increase engagement, increase sales, and maybe even outperform the competition. So again, we take a look at our memo here. Building awareness, that's our goal this week. So when we get into content planning, we're looking at the posts, and so there's a instruction page that shows up here. So the way that the simulation is set up, it mimics Hootsuite or Buffer. These are two paid-for tools out there that most social media marketing managers would have access to. So these allow you to keep track of all your posts and see stats in real time usually. So you can post the same content on multiple platforms. So once you set your budget, but before you click schedule, you can click the icon of the other platforms and gang everything up under one piece of content. So in order to plan this content, we're going to select something to post, write some kind of a caption for it, select the channels, select our targeting inputs, which is who we want the ad to be seen by, and decide if we're going to spend money on the post, determine how much money, schedule it, and here's one little note here. Remember, the optimal number of posts is 1 or 2 a day, so we want to try and not schedule things too close together and space them out throughout the day so that you give your audience a little bit more of an opportunity to see your content. Because a lot of the times your audience is not on social media at the exact same time every day, or they're on at different times just because of their schedules. So next, we will take a look here. This is our budget. We have spent nothing yet. We have 5,000 remaining. And back at our instructions here for what we want to share, this is where we're actually building the content for the simulation post. So you can see we have all the different social media icons up here that we can select. So yes or no on Facebook, yes or no to promote. We have some instructions here we can look at. So some platforms you're going to find it more success posting several times a day. If you think about your potential user, you're going to have people that are checking social media before they go to work, maybe at their morning break, maybe at lunch, maybe during an afternoon break, or when they get home, or sometime during the evening. So you could schedule the same content at different hours of the day to try and target those specific scenarios. And then at the same time, target multiple platforms at those same times until you can start to see a trend. So promoted content means we're spending money, we're paying to promote it to get it in front of a specific target audience. And you can see here we can target by age, gender, or interest, and this is how you can target content on Facebook and Twitter. Then under budget, this is where we're actually paying for a click, a like, or share, and we have $5,000 this week to spend. So in this industry, it's suggested that 25% of the budget goes towards content creation and 75% goes towards promoting the content. So under content planning, this is the instructions before we actually write the post. We've got two types of content: promotional, product-related content, or just non-promotional content that is more of a soft sell. So we're not pushing the product. So those are going to be posts like photos of users with the product, and more asking questions versus more of a hard sell where you're featuring a product and telling a user that's on sale, or that they should be purchasing that content. So our frequency, again, too much is not necessarily good. You can take a look at this post frequency infographic here, and what they're showing is how often on what platforms is recommended here. So posting on social media, usually 1 or 2 times a day on Facebook. Twitter, I would say 15 is probably excessive, but Twitter, since it's very short and people aren't necessarily on Twitter as much as they are on a platform like Facebook, you're kind of looking for people just to see a tweet and hope that it catches their interest, versus somebody that's kind of scrolling through Facebook and really spending a little bit more time. LinkedIn, 1 is probably high as well, 1 a day. I would probably even taper that down to 1 a week. Pinterest, pinning content there, 3 at the low end, 11 is recommended. YouTube, recommendation is 1, probably too high with 2. And then finally Instagram, recommended posting is about 2. So types of content, we have promotional, non-promotional, and then scheduling. You're going to have some rough timeframes to follow, and you can test the next time you run a campaign and see if different times are going to make an impact. So this is the spot where we're going to create some content, and we're going to schedule this to start. And again, this is the simulation, so it's not going to be in real time or really taking place on social media. So first thing we want to do is post to Facebook. So we are going to determine some content based on what we saw with the competition here. So let's take a look at one of these. Expand it here. So it's a watch. And then don't forget, Boohee isn't doing watches quite yet. So probably don't want to look at examples exactly like that. Let's take a look at Bunker. So Bunker's got clothing, football themed. Let's see what kind of content that we have available here. So date-wise, we're looking at the middle of October, not quite Halloween, but close. So let's take a look at some Halloween content. So do some Halloween styled backpack. So this one's $0, so that's good. And now we can determine what we want to say. So check out So I'm going to come up with a couple hashtags that we could use. Also taking a look at anything that competitors are possibly using. Going to insert us into that. Look at some photo posts. All right, I think we'll kind of leave it at that. And we could also look at, hang on, post on Twitter, and we'll need to create some audiences here. So for Twitter, I don't have any saved audiences yet. I'm just looking at some things that hashtag-wise, interest-wise might be good. Remember, our audience had a higher percentage of female than male, but as we're just starting, we're going to hit both. We're going to hit a little bit younger and a little bit older demographic. And let's spend $100 here. We'll save this audience. We'll call this 15 to 70 backpacking, female backpacking keywords. So there's 100 there. We'll pay to promote on Facebook. We'll use the same demographic. And so you see our cost went up to 200. I'm spending 100 on Facebook, 100 on Twitter. We'll go ahead and do Instagram as well. We'll use the same audience. Pinterest, yes. LinkedIn we'll probably skip. And YouTube, we don't really have a video yet, so we'll leave it at that. So here's our pending post. To add Instagram there. And add Pinterest. I think we missed that there. So one thing to notice, your audience also includes your spend. So if you need to edit that, you might want to make another post. So we're going to do Halloween, and the challenge is going to be coming up with the right content at the right time. So you may want to pick images and then develop text. So we're already past back to school in October. So maybe we'll go with the look here. So this image is going to cost us $3. So we're going to schedule this for Tuesday. And you'll see we've already got Pinterest and Instagram. And we'll say something like nail that important. So really there's no right or wrong text to include in here. The simulation is going to look at specific keywords. So do your best, have some fun with the content. You'll kind of see what worked, what didn't work. Main thing is that you want to be aware of your budget, your current spend. You've got a lot to spend. So you also have several days of content to create. So notice we're only able to do one day at a time. So in this week's time frame, you're going to want to schedule quite a bit of content. And keep in mind, go back to your instructions if you're unsure. Post frequency, take a look at that infographic, and the values. So how often should you be posting? And again, we're looking at that goal of awareness. So some platforms you have to post several times a day. Others you might only post once a day. So you'll figure this out as we go. So since this is kind of image centric, I'm going to want to actually promote on LinkedIn. I'm going to go with just men. Okay. So keep going through, schedule as many posts as you think you need to. So I'm going to hit schedule on that one. So I've got Monday, Tuesday, So now I'm going to come up with Wednesday. What you might do is go through and at least do one post a day and then go back and reschedule some different content on the same days. So you can have one post. Eventually you should see 3 or 4 posts depending on which platform. So we're going to do Wednesday, Facebook. And this one, we're not going to promote. We're going to say, look for some images. Let's try and find something about hump day, midweek. Let's find some blog posts here. How about we talk about getting away? For a vacation to California. So notice this image is going to cost us a little bit of money. So we can say something like ready to hit the road. What's your favorite? Do something like that. And since it's a pretty image specific piece of content, we're going to use Instagram. We're going to spend $100 there. Pinterest. And I won't promote on Twitter. So we'll do that. Now we've got 3 posts. And we still have almost $4,000 to spend. So got quite a bit to spend. So don't be shy if you want to bump up your costs here and use up some of the content or use up some of the budget. All right. So we got a girl worth the bag. We'll just target a female audience on this one. We're going to spend 500, and we'll hit done. And post this one on Thursday. Okay, so we spent almost half of our budget now. Let's find a couple more targeted images here. Actually, why don't we do a video? So here's our hip office video. Target YouTube. So our media is pretty expensive on this. Yeah, we'll still go with it. So we're going to go with Friday schedule. And don't forget, you can always go back and adjust things. So if you decide that was too much to spend, you can change that. We ended up with two of those. So we got our delete there. Still shows up. So let's edit this one. Do this one on Saturday. Actually, we'll do that one on Monday. And then we'll find another video. Actually, let's do a meme. Do a funny one. Do a funny one on Wednesday. And let's do another video. Find one that's not very expensive. These are all pretty expensive, so maybe we'll skip video. We'll find some different pictures here. Let's do one on Sunday. So we're nearly done. So, oops, schedule. We doubled that one up again. So we need to change this one up again. Let's do a free shipping on the weekend. So we're going to start that on Friday. Oops. And this is the one I want to edit. Friday sale or weekend sale. So we're over budget a little bit, so we're going to reduce these. So I'm still 56 over, so let's take a look at this one. So we got 69. So let's increase this one a little bit. $44 left. Doesn't seem to want to let us change this one. Okay. So we're stuck a little bit here. Let's see what happens when we run our simulation. So this is what we'll do. This doesn't look like a very good setup here. Huh. This must be a 404 page. Alright, well, let's refresh, I guess. Something happened in the process of doing that. So let's see if we can go back. Right. Well, that was our posting. So we're already in round 2. Let's see if I can refresh here. Alright, so now that I've run the simulation for round 1, I'm not sure why it got stuck there, but hopefully that doesn't happen with you guys. You should see round 2. So as far as our assignments go, round 2 is something you do the following week, but you're more than welcome to continue in the next round, but don't continue into the next working round. So round 3, you want to wait um, just so that as we start covering additional content in the class, you have a little bit more experience. So we take a look here. Since I'm the admin, I think I can kind of force people to go back or reset simulations. So if you're ever stuck, you want to redo a round, let me know. I can move you guys around or push you through to the next round. So you can see we had 8 posts, 7 were promoted. We got 1 million impressions. We got 43,000 engagement. Our highest engagement was Instagram, followed by Pinterest, it looks like. And we got lots of clicks and lots of sales on Instagram and a good number of sales on Facebook. So these are the sort of metrics we're going to look at. And then in round 2, you've got a series of questions that you'll answer. So if we take a look in there, once you're in round 2, you can take a look at all your analytics, the post history, and then this is where you're going to start reading your analytics and answering these questions. So you're going to maybe have this open in 2 windows. How many new followers did you gain on Facebook, Twitter, etc. So that's the end of round 2. So the second rounds are pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot of work or planning. And again, every one of these has instructions, so should be pretty straightforward. So next week we'll actually go through the full round 2 in more detail. And the other thing to know is that you're going to be competing against everybody in class. So they've got a leaderboard to see how you rated as far as other people go. All right, well, good luck.